Welcome to this Data Protection on Demand video. In this video, we'll go through the process as a service provider of creating evaluations for your customers directly. First, open the Data Protection on Demand Management Console. You'll be required to authenticate with your email and password. Once entered, click Sign In. You'll now be asked to enter the multi-factor authentication code for that user. Open the mobile app that you installed as part of your enrollment and enter the 6-digit code presented by the token. Once entered, hit Verify. You'll now be authenticated to the main console. From the tenants view, you're able to see all the tenants that you have provisioned as part of your organization. At the bottom of this screen, there is an option called Add Tenants. Here you could have two types of tenants that you can create. Evaluation tenants, which are standard trials and the normal starting place for most customers. And service providers. Service providers are privileged accounts which can act and function much the same as you can by creating additional tenants. This is particularly useful for distribution partners with their resale channel, or complex organizations and enterprises who have multiple business units and operating companies. To proceed, let's click Evaluation. First, you'll be required to enter some information about the tenant. This will include a name of the account. You'll note that the host name is mapped onto your tenant account name. You can set the account name differently from the host name here if you wish. You will also be able to set a quota. A quota is a limit to the number of HSM on-demand tiles that organization can deploy. Typically, you'd set an organization to unlimited. However, in the evaluation environment, you may want to limit this just to make sure that the customer is focused on deploying and using the environments that they have. For this example, I will set the quota to 1. Then click Next. I now have to enter some information about the organization. This is to allow us to perform export controls. You can either scroll through the list or begin typing to enter the various codes and information required. Please note the information provided here has to be accurate. We will perform export control checks on this address. If it is non-existent, or the addresses are inaccurate or abbreviated in some way, this verification process will fail. Once complete, hit Next. Next, you'll have to provide information about the user. This user is also checked for export control purposes, so please enter realistic data for that user. Once complete, press Next. You'll have a summary screen that outlines the information that you've entered. Once it's confirmed, press Finish. And that's it. Data Protection on Demand is now going ahead and creating the evaluation for your user, performing the legal export controls, and has created the tenant. You'll see here in my list, my new test tenant has been created as an evaluation, and the enrollment emails and other communication packages have been deployed. You will be required to provide the initial password you set to that end user out of band for security reasons, and they will then be prompted to change that password on first use. That's it. You've now created your first tenant. Thank you for watching this Data Protection on Demand video.